Hi, this is Tracy, and this is my second fieldwork reflection. Again, I did my fieldwork at Altaloma High School in a sophomore English class. For about a week, they were covering Anton Chekhov's The Bet, and it's a short story written in 1889 about the death penalty versus life in prison. The two characters, there's a banker who believes capital punishment is more humane, whereas the lawyer supports or believes life imprisonment is a better life. The two make a bet with each other that the lawyer cannot spend 15 years in solitary confinement. As I stated in my previous fieldwork reflection, each class session, Mr. McBride posts a prompt on the projector screen. So after the class got back from reading the story over the weekend, the first class session prompt was one thing I liked about the bet was, and then the second day the prompt was one thing I disliked about the bet was. And they reflected in their journals for just about 5 minutes, and then this led into a brief discussion about which character the students related to more, the banker or the lawyer. Most agreed with the lawyer, but a few also agreed with the banker. Over the weekend, they were assigned to read the short story, and then they had to complete a question and answer sheet that that followed along with the short story. Then the first day of class, after the prompt and the short discussion, they read the story out loud, and that led to more class discussion. The teacher posed questions like, why do you think the characters are unnamed? Would anyone in the class sacrifice 15 years in isolation for a substantial amount of money? And how does this story still hold true today? Most of the discussion throughout the week about being in solitary confinement really fell back onto how dependent we are on social media and technology today, and how that would be really, really difficult to get rid of or to live without, especially for the students. Overall, I really liked the class discussion. I thought it made the text relatable. And again, you know, when they first got it and saw that it was from the 19th century, I don't think they were super excited to read it. But from these different questions, they got to kind of relate the text to their own experience and have their own points of view. I also liked how the students backed up their views with not only experiences from their own lives about, you know, how much they use technology or how hard it would be to not communicate with friends or family for 15 years, but they also referred to back to the short story, specific lines or quotes, which I thought was pretty cool. They were definitely more responsive when discussing their experience with the story rather than the actual short story's mechanics. This is a recurring theme from my field work that I found, that they weren't really that responsive or participatory when, you know, had to talk about symbolism or what characters represented. A few things, a few suggestions. I thought because it was the beginning, it was about the third week of the semester, because it was at the beginning of the class term, I thought it was cool that they had a classroom discussion to get to know each other and things like that. But if this was done at a later time, like, you know, in December or in June, when there was a time constraint, they could always break into small groups for the discussion rather than the entire class. I also thought it would have been helpful to have some sort of video clips that would be beneficial for students who might not really understand or visualize, you know, the characters, the themes, or even just the setting. And I think it would also help out ELs, which I'll get to in my next fieldwork reflection. I found YouTube videos of the bet, and it's, about 15 minutes to show in a class. Part 1 is 5 minutes and part 2 is 9 minutes, and you can either show the whole thing at once or show parts while you're discussing and reading the text.